Martin Van Buren, born December 5, 1782, in Kinderhook, New York, was the first U.S. president born after the American Revolution. He came from humble beginnings. His father was a tavern keeper, and his mother spoke Dutch. Van Buren grew up bilingual, fluent in both Dutch and English. Despite limited schooling, Van Buren studied law and entered politics early. His charm, intelligence, and political skill earned him the nickname the Little Magician. In New York politics, Van Buren mastered the art of building alliances. He helped create one of America's first true political machines, the Albany Regency. He believed in the power of organized parties to represent the people and stabilize democracy, a revolutionary idea for his time. Van Buren's talent for negotiation caught the attention of national leaders. He served as a U.S. Senator, Attorney General of New York, and eventually governor. In 1828, he helped Andrew Jackson win the presidency by uniting voters under the new Democratic Party. As Jackson's most trusted ally, Van Buren became Secretary of State and later Vice President. He was known for loyalty, strategy, and political finesse. When Jackson retired, he handpicked Van Buren as his successor, calling him a true and honest friend. Van Buren became the 8th President of the United States in 1837, during a time of economic optimism. But disaster struck almost immediately. Just months into his term, the Panic of 1837 hit, one of the worst financial crises in American history. Banks collapsed, businesses failed, and unemployment soared. Van Buren's opponents blamed him, even though the crisis began under Jackson's policies. The people called him Martin Van Ruin. He refused to use government funds to bail out banks, believing the economy would recover naturally, a decision that cost him politically. Despite the crisis, Van Buren stood firm on principle: limited government, balanced budgets, and sound money policy. His calm composure and political discipline earned respect from some, but the suffering of ordinary Americans turned many against him. In 1840, he faced a fierce challenge from William Henry Harrison, who ran a populist campaign filled with catchy slogans and rallies. Harrison A.S. campaign mocked Van Buren as an out-of-touch aristocrat who sipped champagne in fancy clothes, even though Van Buren came from modest roots. The slogan, Tippecanoe and Tyler too, became legendary, and Harrison defeated Van Buren in a landslide. After leaving office, Van Buren continued to shape the nation's politics. He ran again in 1848 as the Free Soil Party candidate, opposing slavery's expansion. Though he didn't win, his stance against slavery inspired future anti-slavery movements that later formed the Republican Party. Van Buren retired from politics and returned to his estate, Lindenwold, in Kinderhook. He remained respected as a wise statesman until his death in 1862. He was 79 years old, and though history often overlooks him, his influence on the American political system was enormous. Van Buren helped define modern democracy, organizing parties, expanding participation, and shaping how elections work even today. He believed deeply in the power of the people and the balance of the Constitution, even in times of chaos. Martin Van Buren's story is one of vision, resilience, and strategy. A man who turned politics into a science and democracy into a system that endured. If you found this information valuable, please go ahead and subscribe, like, and share. Thank you for watching. Be sure to check out the other interesting tales of the rest of the presidents.